your back in the groove again coach and teacher, Linda, with some rather, how can I say, interesting information. I went to the grocery store today. I just got back actually, and I happened to talk to a lady who I made a joke with. I said, keep your distance, as a joke, of course, and she knew I was joking. And we started having an interesting conversation about social distancing. You know, she says, I've got a master's and I'm really aware of what I need to do, and she's been doing it. But it's the lines in the grocery store that got her kind of all perplexed. And I have to agree. Because we are, in a way, encouraged to follow these lines in the grocery store. So we are talking, this lady and I are talking, I'm saying, oh my God, I'm not following the lines. Are we supposed to follow the lines? I said, I've been going in around, keeping my distancing, keeping my distance, making sure that nobody's around when I'm going from aisle to aisle. And sometimes I'll even turn around again because I forgot something in the fruit or vegetable section. And she agreed. She was saying that she was having a difficult time following those lines as well. And then I thought, OMG, this is all related to the Myers-Briggs type indicator. She must be a P, just like I am. So I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be reading this information from my Myers-Briggs site. I'm going to describe what this G, judging, or P, perceiving is. It's a fourth preference pair that describes how you live your outer world. What are the behaviors that others tend to see? Do you prefer a more structured and decided lifestyle, or a more flexible and adaptable lifestyle, which would be perceiving? So the structured lifestyle is the J for judging, and the perceiving is the adaptable lifestyle, the more flexible lifestyle. So I'm going to go on to describe what judging is, all right? And we have to be careful here. We're not talking about judging meaning judgments. Judging is I use my decision-making skills or preference, which is the judging, whether it's thinking or feeling, in my outer world. So I use my decision-making, which is judging, preference, whether it's thinking or feeling. Because, we also have the fourth preference, which is either thinking or feeling. So that's what they're referring to right now. So she uses her decision-making preference in her outer life. And to others, I seem to prefer a planned or orderly way of life, to have things settled and organized, feel more comfortable when decisions are made, and like to bring life under control as much as possible. So these people who have a preference for J, are people who are going to love those lines. But listen up, and this is where I am. I'm a P, and I use perceiving function. Again, the perceiving function is the third function. And whether it's sensing or intuition, and the sensing or intuition is the second preference, okay? The first one is introvert or extrovert. The second one is sensing or intuition. We're talking about the Myers-Briggs here. The third one is perceiving or judging. And the fourth one is thinking or feeling, all right? I hope you're following me here. So I use my perceiving function in my outer life. To others, I seem to prefer a flexible and spontaneous way of life, and I like to understand and adapt to the world rather than organize it. Others see me staying open to new experiences and information. Since this pair only describes what I prefer in the outer world, inside I may feel planful or decisive, which it could be. Now, remembering this preference that I'm talking about, the judging or the perceived, is what we seem to show up in the outer world. So when it comes to grocery lines, guys, okay, I am definitely showing you that I prefer something that is spontaneous. I won't follow those lines. And of course, we get into arguments, more or less, with the J's. So let me finish my story. When this lady and I were finished talking about the lines, I'm continuing down the aisle, and I hear from a person who's approaching me about the lines. She says, there's lines to follow here. We're supposed to be following the lines. So my initial thought was, she's not a P. She's a J. She's a judging. But you know what? She could have been a judge. She could have been a P who was just trying to follow rules. But I'm thinking she might have been more of a judging who likes to follow rules and likes to have an orderly way of doing things. Because you know what? Maybe this is what they prefer. This is how they are able to manage better in the outer world. So what do you think of that? The J's and the P's. Interesting, isn't it? I think it is too. If you want more information on my services, or if you want to complete the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, go to my website at www.backinthegroovagain.com. I'd love to be your coach. Bye now.